Felt it.
Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by Boston Scientific, streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. And of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker. Still, boom! Who would have thought that eye emojis would be so controversial, man? Crazy. I'll explain that later, but today we got a lot to discuss. This show is jam-packed low-key, so it might be another long one. I ain't gonna lie to you about it. We're going to talk about all the restructures. We're going to talk about the cap room that it's created, the speculation that it's created. Of course, we're going to dive into Ezekiel Elliott getting released and what that means for the running back room. So we're going to go back, spin the block, whatever you want to call it, rewind on that running back room. And I have a running back option that I think the Cowboy fans will absolutely hate. I think you'll hate it, but that's okay. This is what I want y'all to do. This is why we have discussions. And this is why I always say, is that fair? Because let's have the conversation. So I want to have the conversation, and you're going to initially hate it. But after we have the conversation, then I want to get how you feel. See if I can change your mind a little bit on this one. Because y'all know that new meme that's going around that says, what opinion do you have that makes you feel like this? And the guy's just chilling back like this, and there's a whole bunch of knives at him. Yeah, I think I'm going to feel like that with this running back option. But it's cool. Just hang tight. Just hang with me and let me know how you feel after I explain myself. But what up, Bomb Squad?
Bomb Squad!
And no, it's not Ryan Nall, Toxic Tom. Absolutely not Ryan Nall. But it is a guy that I think can come help this team next season. And it doesn't stop you from doing what you got to do in the draft if you need to. So just stick around, man. A lot to get at. So yesterday, guys, if you watched the Vosh Lombardi live show, a lot of things were happening as the Cowboys were out making moves, restructuring guys and whatnot, which we'll touch on in the roundup. And it just got me to thinking, because we asked this question a couple days ago. You don't just restructure Gallup's contract without something happening. Boom, we get Stephon Gilmore. And then they did it again. They made 3 moves essentially yesterday to create room. And I'm like, man, something, man. So I get my fingers going. I'm texting people. I'm trying to figure some things out. We're hearing whispers, and there's a lot of speculation around the receiving situation. And we know that the Cowboys are interested in a wide receiver. So I tried my damnedest. I hit up so many damn different people trying to figure out what is going on. And, what we know right now, and it's starting to kind of come out a bit more, we'll touch on that at the end of the roundup, is that, yeah, it's a receiver that the Cowboys are trying to target or have interest in. But much like many things, there are holdups that could stop them from doing one particular thing, but it doesn't mean it'll stop them from doing another. So we'll get into these details throughout the show. You can call in if you want. 351-999-3787 is the call-in line. And we'll discuss all of it. Should be a fun show today. Appreciate y'all for sticking around, holding tight. We didn't quite start at 8:30, but hey, man, we here. So let's get busy.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time!
Time.
It's time!
Time?
It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Oh, they do it! Hey! Oh, they do it!
Hey, yo. Before we get into Cowboys news, I want to go back, recap what happened yesterday around the NFL. A lot of moves. Again, this is week 1 of free agency, so a lot happens, whether it be, contract extensions, signings, trades, releases, whatever. And there was a whole lot that went down. The headliner around the league for the big wig websites will be the Aaron Rodgers thing, right? Aaron Rodgers went on Pat McAfee's show, which, by the way, man, he's goals for me. Pat McAfee's awesome. The show is awesome. The setup is, everything is just sick. My man had over 500,000 live viewers yesterday. Crazy for this Aaron Rodgers non-decision decision, where he came out and said that he intends to play for the Jets, where he came out and he pretty much shit on the Packers, and where he came out and said, hey, man, the reason why this ain't happening ain't because of me. It's because the Packers are holding it up. This will get done, right? Aaron Rodgers will be a Jet. He'll follow in Brett Favre's footsteps, just hopefully not directly. And it'll happen. So, Aaron, welcome to New York. See if you can handle that pressure. With Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady out of the NFC, the quarterback class, the quarterback room, whatever you want to call it over there, it gets weaker. Now, listen, I know we ain't got no Eagle fans up in here, and I know we got a lot of Cowboy fans that don't like Dak Prescott, but where are we ranking Dak Prescott in the NFC East? Or, I'm sorry, in the NFC right now? You got Brady out of there, you got Rodgers out of there, and you got the new flavor of the month in Jalen Hurts. But if you look around the landscape of the NFC, the quarterbacks are this isn't Rodgers and Drew Brees and Tom Brady. These guys aren't floating around no more, man. Just curious, because half of the people in the chat box, like Dak, half of them don't like Dak. But if we can remove our biases of pro and our negative biases and our positive biases, where would you rank them? Like this can't be that hard, right? Like he has to be a top 2 quarterback, right? Regardless, though, he is now the longest tenured quarterback in the entire NFL. Man, yo. Y'all like to make fun of me, my age or whatever, but the times of remembering the Tom Brady's and Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning's, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, I go by Steve McNair's. It's just constantly revolving around the league, and them guys are out. It's weird to see the league now. None of those dudes are out anymore. It's so weird, but there's some really good quarterback play. But when you hear that Dak is the longest tenured quarterback, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Also, some more NFC East news. So the Eagles had a weird situation yesterday with Darius Slay. Darius Slay, he even came out and was like, hey, it's been real, Philly. We out of here. Adam Schefter reported they're going to be releasing Darius Slay after re-signing James Bradberry. Then today, or late yesterday, I should say, Darius Slay says, psych, it's not happening. So apparently they're going to try to rework something with Darius Slay. And I guess the current reports now is he will be staying, as well as Fletcher Cox, as well as James Bradberry, as well as Brandon Graham and Jason Kelsey. So, and they're still working on CJ Gardner-Johnson. So there's half of the guys are probably going to lose. And then it looks like they're going to be retaining half the guys. So Philly got a lot to deal with over there. This Darius Slay thing, this snip snap back and forth, I thought was hilarious. I also thought it was hilarious that they were going to roll with Bradberry and cut Slay. But it's looking like they could be returned. They both could be returning to the Eagles. Also, Juju Smith-Schuster gets signed by the New England Patriots. So they signed Juju to a 3-year, $33 million deal. We might want to put a pin in those numbers, because if the Cowboys are to go out and get a specific wide receiver, I wonder if they're going to try to target that range. Now, the rumors are that receiver is probably going to want to come north of that, but I think Juju's contract with New England seems about fair if that were to happen. Speaking of contracts, LVE's contract details come out again, and I remember almost specifically having this conversation last year in the roundup. His contract details from last year were extremely team friendly. Same thing happened this year. So reportedly it's a 2-year, $11 million deal, but I guess $3 million of that is mostly incentives, because it's actually a 2-year, $8 million deal, $2.5 million signing bonus, 5 guaranteed, and obviously an average annual salary of $4 million. In 2023, he'll only count $3.1 million against the cap. Next year goes up to like 4, but they obviously have an out. They can cut him after this season, and they only suffer something like a $2.5 million dead money. So this contract it's even cheaper than I expected when I first heard it. I thought this was going to be exactly like David Long Jr. Now, we don't have the David Long Jr. numbers, but this is just interesting to me, because this is the second year in a row LVE has tested the market, and he's come back with an extremely cheap deal. So I wonder if LVE is just held to a higher regard here in Dallas than he is around the league. Because you go look at some other guys that got, $5, $6, $7 or more $million per, where LVE is getting 5 guaranteed. So, he's not even guaranteed to get $8 or $11 million. The guarantee is 5. That's less than what some guys are getting per year. What I also like, though, about this is that much like I said last year, this doesn't stop you from, if for whatever reason he gets hurt again in the offseason, or not again in the offseason, but gets hurt again. If he regresses, it doesn't really pigeonhole you to not bring in more competition. They didn't do that last year, so I'm not going to really go on a tangent about it. But I don't think this really stops you from making more moves at the position. This is $3 million on the cap is not a lot. So they want to go get another player at the linebacker position. They got the cap space to do it. That's right. Dallas has been working. Now, they haven't been signing a bunch of outside guys, but they've been working on their inside guys, their internal guys, to create a lot of cap space. So here's what went down from a cap space standpoint yesterday, Cowboys Nation. D-Law restructured his deal, which opened up about $9 million in cap space. They converted most of his $15 million salary into a signing bonus. And per Gelkin, no money has been added, no money has been removed. Essentially, is to kick the can down the road situation to open up cap space. Okay. D-Law, I didn't really see that one coming. I thought they would just let that play out. But they had to do something, though, because his cap hit was pretty high. But again, for a team that doesn't get active in free agency, I was like, well, maybe there might not be a need. But it was a high cap hit. Tyron Smith, another, report came out last week that they were trying to keep him and rework his deal. Well, they did exactly that, man. They reworked his deal to a 1-year deal, which includes a $3 million signing bonus and a $3 million guaranteed base salary. This is per Tom Pelissero. He can earn a lot more through $9 million playing time incentives and $2 million playoff incentives. So all that to say, it's cleared $9.6 million in the 2023 cap space for the Cowboys. Tyron Smith, DeMarcus Lawrence, obviously Dak Prescott, Zach Martin, and Michael Gallup have all played around with their money to create cap space. With all those things happening, and currently the D-Law situation and Tyron Smith situation, the Cowboys are roughly around the $20 million cap space. That's a good chunk of money to do something. Now, they've done this before. They've created cap space and they haven't really went on to do anything. But man, something's cooking. Something's cooking. Doesn't mean that they're going to finish that meal. But I say, yeah, these things are probably going to happen. They were going to come down the pike at some point. They were going to do these moves, but all of them happening bang, 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 back-to-back days. Interesting. And then the one move that they did make with Michael Gallup that coincided with having the ability to fit a traded player's cap space under the salary cap. Interesting. And then the final move was cutting Ezekiel Elliott, designating him a June 1st cut, which opens up about $11 million post June 1st. So you won't see the Zeke money until after June 1st, which means, in my opinion, you could spend this money right now. Because a lot of people say, well, you need money to pay the rookies. You'll have that. That's taken into account. You'll have that. Well, you need money to sign a potential free agent. $11 million is enough to do that. And they're not going to spend $10 million on a free agent in July. So they got the ammo to do something, Cowboys Nation. And I'll say this before we get into what all this money could potentially be for. If they mess around and make another big move, I might have to get rid of the Catboy song, man. We might have to change that thing.
Jello Beats, holla at me.
Hey, Steven, if you go out there and you grab one of these boys, dog, you can't come to the cookout. I'll give you a take-home plate, and I'll play your theme music when you're on your way out. Hey. Don't play with me, man. The Cowboys play with my emotions, dog. They playing with my emotions right now, and I'm feeling real shmoney dance. I'm feeling real shmoney dance with all this money that they creating. But it's the Cowboys. Let me fall back. Let me chill. Okay? Let me chill because I'm not going to pretend like that's really going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to pretend like it's really going to happen. But I'm just saying, if he does make a move to a D-Hop, if he does make a move, even Odell Beckham, man, if he does make a move to another one of these free agents that might cost a little bit of money, I might have to change the music. Can't be Catboy no more. That's all I'm saying. So what are they making these moves for? What are they creating this cap space for? Why are you dropping eye emojis, Sky? What the hell's wrong with you? Let's talk about the two receivers that are getting talked about out here in the Twitter world. DeAndre Hopkins, the biggest name of them all right now in the Twitter world surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. Here's what I'm hearing, what y'all should have been hearing too if you're paying attention to some people out there, and what I was told. We're hearing that the Cowboys are his preferred destination. He wants to be a Cowboy. This isn't some play. He wants to be here. That doesn't mean anything. A lot of players want to be Cowboys. But when I hear preferred destination, that might lend to, hey, I'm willing to take a little bit less, or I'm willing to rework my contract. And then another nugget that shout out to my guy, Professor O, dropped on me yesterday. Apparently he's hired a lawyer. He usually has represented himself. Hired an agent who is his lawyer. He usually represents himself, but he's hired an agent. And in my head, I was like, well, maybe he's hiring this agent because they'll be able to work on those last 2 years better than he would, right? Yeah, he can represent himself in regular contract negotiations, but we're talking about having to massage some money on the back end of a contract. Maybe he wanted an agent that can do that better than he would. The other thing I heard was that the teams had been talking the last 2 days. Now, that comes from somebody I do trust. But here's what's interesting. I don't know if you're listening, my friend, who called into the show a couple days ago. Remember the guy that called in and said, hey, man, I was in Houston, was having lunch. I ran into DeAndre Hopkins people and, let them know that, hey, I'm a Cowboy fan. We would love to have DeAndre Hopkins. And apparently that person, his people's, his cousin, told him that, hey, man, he would love to be here, and they're trying to make something happen. We kind of like he'd at it. But now, that's adding up. That makes sense. Obviously, Des Bryant, D-Hop video, you hear that. And we're hearing, they've been talking, and this is preferred destination. I do think there's smoke to this. Just don't know if there will be a fire. I don't know that if the Cowboys or Steven or Jerry are savvy enough, or if they're able to finesse or massage the trade compensation and the money. I don't think they are willing to really work that hard to get that done when they have another option out there that they don't have to give up any compensation for, and they can control the money a little bit easier if he wants to be here. So I've been back and forth on, the D-Hop Odell Beckham on what makes more sense for Dallas. What's easier for Dallas? And it all comes back down to, as much as you may want DeAndre Hopkins, we're talking about Steven, we're talking about Jerry, and we're talking about a high-priced guy that seems like it's going to be tough for this team to eat the salary. Remember what happened in the Brandon Cooks situation, which, by the way, that apparently is still a thing. They couldn't get past stuff. They couldn't get past the next year's money. They couldn't get past who's going to take on most of the salary, who's going to take on some of the dead money. These are all conversations that they probably are having or have had, or maybe they've moved on from because they couldn't figure anything out. But I will say this, the wide receiver position is 100% something that the Cowboys are looking into. It's just a matter of if anything gets done, which is not breaking news, right? I ain't breaking no damn news. We'll get to the other guy here in a second, but we got lots of callers on the horn, and I want to holler at them before we move on, because we're going to talk about Odell, and then we're going to talk about this running back situation, and keep rocking out. So let's hit the phone lines. Let's get to D Shift first. He on the horn. What's good, D Shift?
What's going on, bro?
What's up with you, man?
Not much, dog. I'm liking what we're doing with the cap. I think with Tyron Smith continually to give you kind of those deals. I know there was a lot of people calling for Tyron's head in a sense, but I think he just kind of consistently proves that he's there to play for the team and provide services.
Yes.
And he recognizes, kind of like Sean Lee did, recognizes, man, I got so much left. I can provide some stuff, but it's fair. It's fair that y'all want to have some of my money back. So I like what he's doing in that sense. Which they could have kind of did the same with Zeke, but I'm not mad at it. I'm truly not. I'm kind of the guy that just kind of moves on and is ready to replenish this team with better talent. So with the Zeke thing, I'm okay with. Gilmore kind of puts a domino piece into place because of it. It allows you to really replace Zeke, right, and get a running back because you're solidified in the area that's was more of a concern. I feel like the D-back versus a running back. But now that you have those luxuries in your secondary now, and those assets, man, you can really kind of move on from Zeke. I like the approach from the front office of not being so much 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Well, you're going to put your foot in, put both of them in, goddamn. Just put your whole body in. You know?
They have the potential to put their whole body in. Right now, they still 1 foot in. But they have they've given themselves an opportunity to say, damn it, let's just go all in for this thing. So we on pins and needles.
I think they put 2 feet in at the 2 foot area. Maybe the 3 foot area. They right on the steps. They standing right there on the steps.
They standing right there. Okay, yeah.
They're standing right there, and so they just still contemplating whether they're going to jump in. And of course, if you get DeAndre Hopkins, man, that's
all the way in.
Yeah, I'm not going to be greedy, man. I'm not going to be one of these get DeAndre, get Bobby Wagner, and while you at it, man, go trade for I don't know. I threw an idea about Vita Vea just because of Tampa. It's kind of on a fire sale, and that'll be very unexpected. But I'm gonna let you get to your calls, Scott. I just wanted to check in, man, and while I have some time, man. So
yes, sir.
Good talking to you as always, bro.
Appreciate you, man. Good call. I want to touch on what he said about Tyron, which I didn't really go into. I mean, this is definitely, like you said, a Sean Lee type of situation, and good for Tyron in the sense of this is a really big pay cut. I have no idea if they went to Ezekiel Elliott for this. Maybe they just was like, hey, we're better off moving on. This is a really big pay cut. What would that be? Anybody have like the cap hit for Tyron? I don't know what that cap hit would be. Would the cap hit be $6 million? I feel like the cap hit would be $6 million. But the cap hit doesn't seem like it's going to be that large. He has a guaranteed base salary of $3 million. I have no idea what the total cap hit would be, but a lot of incentive laden stuff here. This was a question that came up weeks ago when we were on Wassenberg Live. We said, well, what about if you bring back Tyron Smith on an extremely team friendly deal? I was like, what's the team friendly deal? He was like, is it $5 million? He's like, all right, whatever. Here's my thing though. I don't want them to look at this like, Tyron did a solid for us. We're going to roll with Tyron. We're going to trust Tyron. We're going to go into the draft. We're going to ignore offensive tackle or offensive guard, whichever, left side player. We're going to ignore left side player until day 3. That will worry me because I think they still need to attack that position. You cannot depend on Tyron Smith to play many games. And then you need to have a plan for your other first round pick, Tyler Smith. I'm going to be a left tackle. I'm going to be a left guard. What am I going to be? I will give them this. They have not come out and said that Tyron is a starter. This cut would insinuate that maybe he's not. Like I said, I heard a little report that they're still leaning on Tyler Smith being the left tackle. So maybe Tyron is your swing. And if Tyron's your swing, I can live with that. Because swing tackles play, 3-4 games a year? I live with Tyron as my swing. He clearly wants to be a Dallas Cowboy, taking a massive pay cut, 1 more year, and he's probably going to hang it up. I'm fine with that. I just don't want to rely on him being my starter. So until I hear more about that, I'm kind of on a TBD. Love that he took the pay cut. Love that he created money. So I give that an A+. But after that, I'm on the TBD. What are we doing with him? We don't know, and I'm fine with not knowing right now. We got plenty of time. I ain't tripping about that. Good for Tyron to take a pay cut, stick around. Good for the Cowboys to create that cap space and hopefully use it. $469, what it is, what it do?
What's up, man?
What's up? Who this?
This is Henry.
Good morning, Henry.
So I was excited to hear that Zeke got cut. Sorry. Not sorry.
Damn. You cold.
I want to see a different. I just want to see some speed up in here. That's all. So if Dallas decides to go with Diggs, I'm going to be cool with that. I want to see breakaway speed. Just, I like fast runners. That's all.
You got that with TP?
Nah, he ain't the fast runner. He's fast, but he's not fast like Tony Dorsett, Eric Dickerson fast.
Sir.
What?
You know he has like the most 30-plus yard touchdowns in one season in team history.
Yeah, but that's more the offensive line than it is him. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
And the last real good run he had, in my opinion, was the Steelers game when he was a rookie. In my opinion, that was his really last best run.
Oh, you're talking about Zeke? I said TP. TP.
Oh, no. Tony Pollard. Oh, no, I'm not worried about Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard's fine. But I'm talking about, like, just speed. Like, if Dallas drafts Gibbs, ooh, I'm going to be so happy. But,
yeah.
We'll see. I'm not sure what's going to happen. But I'm excited for the team in that regard. Do you think they're going to draft a quarterback?
Yeah, actually, I do. I'm still leaning towards day 3. I think they'll do it day 3. At the highest of the draft picks, round 3.
Who do you think they'll draft?
That I can't give you that one. Let's wait till we get 30 visits. That's important. And once we get to 30 visits, I'm pretty sure they'll probably invite about 3 of them.
And one more thing. Do you think that the Georgia quarterback will be drafted?
Bennett?
Yes.
I suppose, yeah. He's old as hell, but so was Brandon Wheaton, but he went the first round. The Browns are crazy.
It's just that guy's size. I saw his size. I was like, uh-oh.
Size, age, talent. Yeah, he's not the greatest prospect in my opinion. But hey, dog, appreciate the call, Mr. Henry. We're gonna keep it moving.
Cool.
All right, man. Have a good one. I hope he was mistaken about TP. TP fast, dog. He real fast. Another dude that was real fast prior to all the injuries was Odell Beckham Jr. And again, to kind of put a cap on the wide receiver speculation, Mr. Jordan Schultz, who tweeted this morning that the Dallas Cowboys are interested, obviously, and have had positive discussions with Odell Beckham Jr. There we go. Have had discussions with Odell Beckham Jr. Two-time All-Pro wide receiver Odell Beckham has held positive discussions with the Cowboys. Sources tell the score. There are several teams interested, but Dallas would like to make it work. I'm told OBJ is seeking a multi-year contract. I think some of that we've known in regards to the multi-year contract. The former there would have had positive discussions, I think, is newer information. Look, the Cowboys have been interested. We know that. The Cowboys and Jerry Jones really wants this to happen. We know that. He's spoken with his mother. We know that. We really hadn't heard that the Cowboys have had direct communication with Odell and his people. This is the first time we're hearing that this week at the very least. So they are definitely trying to get someone. I felt like this energy was going to carry over after they struck out on Brandon Cooks last year at the trade deadline. We're kind of revisiting the same thing, including Brandon Cooks, D Hop, Odell. they're trying to swing, right? They're trying to swing. If it's not for the fences, if you don't believe it's for the fences, they're trying to at least hit a double or a triple. D-Hop's for the fences. Now, Odell is like a double, triple. Same thing with Cooks. They're trying. Whether it happens or not is a different story. But as much as I said earlier, I like DeAndre Hopkins. I would love to have him here. I don't know that the Cowboys will be able to come to an agreement, will be able to compromise enough or savvy enough to make that happen. But Odell, that's easier. Now, question I pose to you guys. Dallas would like to make it work. I'm told Odell Beckham is seeking a multi-year contract. Would you sign Odell Beckham to a multi-year contract? Would you sign Odell Beckham to a multi-year contract? I think a lot of us would like to have DeAndre Hopkins. That's clear. But if that doesn't happen, OBJ seems like the most obvious fit from a if healthy standpoint. That's the problem. He hasn't stayed healthy. I don't think he got any more ACLs left. Can you depend on him, et cetera, et cetera? I'm going to stand put on what I said earlier about Odell Beckham. He is not my number one priority at the position. I will swing for all those other guys. And if I miss, I don't mind landing on an Odell Beckham. Let's see here. Professor O, yes. Nikki says you can't depend on him. Yep. A year? No. He's a China dog. Yes. We pretty much split on here. No. Think that's a yes. Prove it deal. Not for 20 million. I don't think he's going to get 20 million. I don't think so. That's why I was looking at the Juju Smith-Schuster contract. Like 3 years, 33 million. I don't know the details of that, but just the obvious annual salary. That's 11 million per. I feel like I would 100% offer that. I don't know that another team is going to offer Odell Beckham some outrageous contract. I feel like 11 million per is fair with obviously a bunch of incentives to protect yourself. If we start getting north of $14-15 million and it's going to hurt your salary cap right now or, stop you from going out and grabbing another person or getting a DeAndre Hopkins, now you got to have a conversation that this doesn't make sense anymore. But if we're talking about 3-year, $35 million deal with some protections and outs after a year or two, I don't think it hurts you. I don't think it hurts you. So we're pretty much split on this Odell Beckham. I don't think he's going to get 20 million. If he does, I would be shocked that a team would be that stupid enough to do that. Now watch he come out and get an outrageous contract. An outrageous contract. He wants some Jerry greenbacks. Daniel James says first for Diggs. Yeah, I don't think they're going to take a $45 million cap hit. Look, I'm in on Hardman. Surf, 100%. I'm in on Hardman. He got 2 broke legs. He do got two broke legs. But, yeah, that's what Jordan Schultz is saying. They've had discussions which are obvious. The Cowboys want him. Jerry Jones really wants Odell Beckham. But do you, Cowboys Nation? Let's get Twan from Connecticut. What's good, Twan?
What's good, Skywalker? How you doing, man?
I'm good, sir. How you feeling about this wide receiver speculation?
Man, I will be honest. I want to comment on the dude Henry prior the call when he said I was excited about Ezekiel Elliott getting cut. Yeah. That's horrible. That's horrible. You as a Cowboys fan, horrible like that because Zeke gave us precious years. That's one. 2, to be honest, Sky, I really want to go after D-Hop. I don't even want to play with Odell Beckham. Just go after D-Hop. He's a better receiver, less injuries. Any quarterback he had, you give him Dak Prescott, we low-key got 2 number ones. Honestly, that's really how I feel. Same thing with CD Lamb and Amari type situation. My honest to God opinion.
So yeah, I
And
want to
that's
go after
really how I
D-Hop as
feel.
well. But what if you can't land DeAndre Hopkins? Would you be out on the position altogether professionally and just wait for the draft, or would you still try to swing for somebody else?
I try to swing for somebody else. I probably try to swing for Brandon Cooks then Odell Beckham, to be honest. Because
Right.
like Odell, them knees, boy, them knees they bad stuff. They bad.
Oh yeah. There's big risk, with Odell Beckham. He hasn't been a healthy dude.
Yeah, man. But we'll see, Sky. I ain't gonna hold you up too long, man. We'll see.
All right, man. Appreciate the call, man.
Peace.
Got a 717 Harrisburg number up in here. Who this?
Yo. What up, Will?
What up? Who this?
It's Kurt.
Oh shit, it's Ryan. Hey yo, Ryan been rocking with this show for years. The first time he done called in. What up, bro?
Nothing much, man. I don't want nothing, man. I just wanted to say I'm proud of you. Congratulations with all your success. And keep going, man. You're doing your thing.
Salute, fam. Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.
My guy Kurt from Harrisburg, 717 in the building. Let's get Los. Los, what's good?
Good morning, Sky. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, just real quickly, man. Hey, thank you, Zeke, man. Hey, I don't know who was that caller that was Zeke's guy. I forgot, but hey,
I don't know. I know. Twan is Zeke is Twan's guy. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all better start checking on his blood pressure because he thinks they're gonna be Cowboys are done. You know what I'm saying? But hey, that's here and there. But like I said, I mean, I think with us letting Zeke go, can literally us focus on the change of basically whatever we need, which is, running back, wide receiver, and maybe some other skill players that we need. Because am I crazy, Sky? I think we are able to compete in the NFC right now. We're just 2 or 3 pieces away. And I think if Cowboys are able to acquire those pieces, man, Sky, I mean, hey, you're heading into the season with one of the best quarterbacks in the NFC, a new plan with hopefully a new scheme and a more balanced approach.
Yeah.
And if Cowboys can hit all those notes, I mean, hey, we can make some noise. But it all depends on what they want to do. But if I were to choose a wide receiver right now, I think it would be D-Hop just because I feel like he goes more for Dak's game. And Odell has shown, I'm not saying he's injury prone, but he has shown that, after a while he can get injured or whatnot.
Yeah. Let me just say this about DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins is for everybody's game. Right?
Correct. And I mean, he makes any quarterback easier. I mean, look at the guys that has thrown to him over the years.
Exactly.
So you get a guy like that to throw to him,
Yeah, we talking about DeAndre Hopkins, yo. But yeah, man, I'm all for that.
And I'll leave you with this guy. I don't know if you look at Twitter. Most of the Cowboys are trying to recruit D-Hop right now. So we'll see how it goes. And let's see if Stephen Jones has that, fuck it, here comes the money sound for all these players.
No.
You take care.
Yeah, appreciate you, Los. It will not be Here Comes the Money if you do that. It'll be
Jello Beats. Holla at me.
All right, brother. Yeah.
Telling you, dog. But it ain't happening, so I ain't getting my hopes up for that. Appreciate you a lot, Los. Yeah. Michael Parsons is recruiting. 717. I see you, Lee. Kurt, feel good, man. Kurt been rocking since I was on First Down podcast. I tell you about that other podcast all the time, but y'all really, I wasn't on YouTube at the time. I was doing this on Facebook. We were discussing everything, man. We had a whole show with him. It's dope, man. It's dope when people from your hometown has been rocking with you for so long. Appreciate that a whole lot, for real. It means a ton. But I'm hitting the shmoney dance if they get D-Hop. Think I'm playing? I ain't a TikToker. They trying to make me TikTok, but we be TikToking with the shmoney dance if we get D-Hop. All right, there's a lot of callers. So I don't want to bog this down with just call it just quite yet. We're going to do that after I get to this part right here, which is the Ezekiel Elliott thing everybody keeps bringing up. Look, we did our sentiments with Zeke yesterday on the volume. I was playing around on one part. Look, man, seriously, it is an end of an era. He really gave everything for the Cowboys. He cleaned up his act from a maturity standpoint, right? He was a first-class citizen, after he went through what he went through and was an immature 20-something-year-old. It happens, you know what I'm saying? He did a lot for this team. Meant a lot for this team. Obviously, injuries started to pile up. Wear and tear started to pile up. Usage wasn't as efficient. And it was just time to move on. I'm not as sentimental about the Ezekiel Elliott situation as a lot of fans because I just never was attached to it in that manner. I was more gutted from a Dez Bryant situation because I was attached more emotionally with Dez. I just felt like I was Dez, right? That passion, that fire, he was my guy. He was my favorite player in the league at the time. So I get people who Zeke is their favorite player in the league. I'm not about to come at you. For me, I think this is the right move. I think this will make the team better if they make the correct moves following it, right? Like, I don't think you can drop the ball at running back. If you do that, then you're just bad. And I don't think you have a bad personnel department in regards to Will McClay. Obviously, you can attack the NFL draft, and I think they should, and I think they will. Obviously, you can rely on the Malik Davises and the Tony Pollards of the world, which got me to thinking. So 3 running backs that got the tag: Tony Pollard, Josh Jacobs, the Giants running back, Saquon Barkley. They all got the tag at $10 million. But have y'all seen the running back market? Did the Cowboys, I hate to use this term, drop the ball, fumble the bag, whatever you want to call it. Did the Cowboys fumble the franchise tag again? I think that's a tough question to answer. I like to ask y'all tough question. Did the Cowboys fumble the tag? A lot of people in general didn't even want to use the tag on Tony Pollard. So there's that. He's getting $10 million this year. That $10 million is more than like 90% of the current running back market right now. Period. Like overall contracts. It's more than all but 3 running backs right now. The 3 biggest names, Miles Sanders, David Montgomery, Jamal Williams, all signed for 3 and 4 year deals. Jamal Williams, remember yesterday we talked about Jamal Williams. We said, hey, if he gets signed for that $4.5 million, is actually lower. That's not a lot of money. What did he get signed for? 3 years, $12 million. $4 million per. David Montgomery got 3 years, $6 million per. Miles Sanders got 4 for 25, $6.2 million per. Now, I'm not saying that if Tony Pollard hit the free agency market, that he wouldn't garner a Miles Sanders, David Montgomery, or maybe higher. But for a guy that got injured, I do at the last game of the year, I do wonder if his market would have been nerfed a little bit, and he would have floated around the David Montgomery, Miles Sanders area. So 1 year, $10 million. Did the Cowboys fumble the franchise tag? They should have never used it, says DA. Trey said, not going to lie, I would have went after Barkley if he didn't get tagged. T-Mac says they fumbled it like Tony Romo in the playoff game. God. It's deep. It ain't tough at all. Hell yeah. If you draft Bijan Robinson, you spend the same. I don't know that Bijan Robinson costing you $10 million at pick 26, year 1. So I don't think that's correct. This is kind of where I'm at, Kendall. It's 1 year, so no. Right? So let's add more context to this thing. It's not like they're paying him $10 million per year for the next 3, 4, 5 years, whatever, right? It's not like the $10 million doesn't allow them to go out and spend money in cap or spend money in free agency because they still have money. They got $20 million worth of cap space. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. If this $10 million hampered them from going out to spend money, making a trade for a Stephon Gilmore, yeah, I would say, man, they dropped the ball on this one. If this $10 million, they come back in the season and Tony Pollard is just used to run up the A gap and they just misuse him, he's not using the passing game, et cetera, yeah, then they fumbled the bag. But as we currently stand right now, I'm not mad at it. Especially since you're moving on from Ezekiel Elliott. Could you have moved on from Zeke and TP and went out and signed a Jeff Wilson, Jamal Williams? Sure, you could have. So I'm not mad at it. It's 1 year, and I don't think I personally don't think they'll sign Tony Pollard to a long-term deal. I feel like they're going to go into this thing and say, look, we don't want to spend a lot of money on the running back position. The market is super nerfed. I mean, look, this isn't Ezekiel Elliott, Todd Gurley, Adrian Peterson era. And he ain't that from those times. So I don't think he's going to get that type of money. But if history has showed us positions of lower value, the tight end position, running back position, these guys don't usually get these extensions after the tag like that. Maybe Barkley does, maybe Josh does. We'll see. But another year of wear and tear on the body, I think this is the correct move to not extend him. Now, if they do, then it has to work with the money and it has to work with the usage. You better use the hell out of him for the next 2 to 3 years. There's just no dilly-dallying around with him. One game he gets 5 touches. Like, you can't play around like that. Use him and then move on. No difference. It just plays on the tag. Use him and then move on. So the running back market, I think, is shaping up. I'm not surprised that it's nerfed because that's just the running back position. But for the Cowboys, they now just have Malik Davis and Tony Pollard. Rico Dowdle's a restricted free agent. I don't even know if I would even put a tender on it. If I would even put a tender on it. I don't think I would do it. For what? For who? For what? So the Cowboys have to do something in free agency, right? Like technically, they could just draft 2 rookie running backs. Let me ask y'all that. Would you like the Cowboys to sign a free agent or just flat out draft 2 running backs? The available free agents, there's guys like Kareem Hunt out there. Damian Harris is out there. Dante Foreman is out there, who had a solid year last year. And I'm trying to name some power type backs. But the guy that I think makes a ton of sense for the Cowboys is a guy that I think y'all are going to hate. Y'all going to throw tomatoes at me. Y'all going to say, Sky, you're absolutely out of your mind. I think Leonard Davis makes sense. I'm sorry. Leonard Fournette. I think Leonard Fournette makes sense. So let me explain. But first off, I want to hear y'all absolutely click out of the stream, throw your phones down, walk off, suck your teeth. I know. Leonard Fournette, 3.8 yards per carry. He only had 3 touchdowns. Leonard Fournette, what did we tell you was terrible last year? Look, hear me out. I'm going to let y'all get it off, and then I want y'all to hear me out. All right? Go ahead, throw the tomatoes. There you go. So, Leonard Fournette. I think if you go back and watch Leonard Fournette, or if you just want to look at numbers, you can. I think at this current moment, Leonard Fournette is a better pass-catching option than Ezekiel Elliott. I think we can all agree on that. He's a better pass-catching option than Ezekiel Elliott. Ignore the numbers. Again, sometimes people be like, well, those are just numbers. Those are opportunities. This is true. Go watch him. Go watch how he still has some fluidity in his hips when he's catching a rock. He still has some wiggle in open space. This isn't a stiff guy that has injuries have caught up to him or anything like that. No. Leonard Fournette can be a pass-catching option. Why are you harping on pass catches? 60 receptions over the last 3 seasons. 60-something, 70-something, 70-something. So he can be an actual option. This isn't a guy, Leonard Fournette's in the game. They ain't going to throw him the ball. Nope, they can. Why am I bringing this up? Because the Cowboys are going to be running a little bit more West Coast. And when you're running the West Coast, you dump the ball off to your running back. And if you're going to dump the ball off to your running back, you don't want to be pigeonholed and give away showing your cards when a certain running back's in the game. Tony Pollard's in the game. He can run it. We can throw it. When Zeke was in the game, probably going to run it. Likely not going to throw it to him. If Dante Foreman's in the game, probably going to run it. You're not going to throw it to him. Same thing with Damian Harris, etc. Like these big power backs that don't do anything in the pass catching department. Lenny can. Lenny is proven to be a very valuable weapon in the pass catching game. Oh, and you don't lose the power. You do not lose the power. A lot of people, we need a power back, right? We need that yin to the yang. We need somebody to complement Tony Pollard. I present to you Leonard Fournette. I know we joke around playoff Lenny. I mean, when you get to the playoffs, he usually play well. Except against the Cowboys this past year. He only had 5 carries in that game. But he gives you that power. Well, then, Scott, why the hell he wasn't that good last year running? Much like this current version of Ezekiel Elliott, you still need to be able to block it for Leonard Fournette. Okay? This isn't the Tony Pollard where I say, hey, look, if you can't block it up, at least Tony Pollard can find a way to make something happen because he has that wiggle, that agility, that big playability. Bars. That's not necessarily Leonard Fournette. It got to be blocked up, just like it has to be blocked up for Ezekiel Elliott. What happened last year? Tampa Bay just absolutely sucked at run blocking. Their offensive line saw a turnover, and you saw the production from their O-line drop immensely. I got some numbers for you if you don't believe me. In 2022, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers ranked 31st in run block win rate. The Dallas Cowboys, 7th. Per Football Outsiders, the Cowboys were 5th in power success. Tampa Bay, 25th. Okay. So what does it look like when Leonard Fournette has a solid run blocking team? Let's go back one season in 2021. 2021, Leonard Fournette averaged 4.5 yards per carry. By the way, the last time Ezekiel Elliott has averaged 4.5 yards per carry was in 2019. Okay. The Bucs offensive line just last year in 2021, one season removed, was 2nd in power success, 8th in run stuff, and 14th at second level yards. Good offensive line, good run blocking offensive line, good Leonard Fournette. Bad run blocking offensive line, bad Leonard Fournette. Running. Receiving, he still was a very good receiving option out the backfield for Tom Brady. What's guy? Isn't he a guy that got a lot of tread on his tires? Nope. 189 carries, 180 carries, and 97 carries are what Leonard Fournette has had the last 3 seasons. Not a guy that has 2,000 carries on his body. For instance, Zeke had 244, 237, and 231 over the last 3 years. You want power. You want some versatility. You want a guy that's on the cheap. Also, there's no pressure to play him if you draft a guy. If a guy is hot, there's no politics that have to happen. I present to you Leonard Fournette. I'm saying, man, it's all there. He can catch out the backfield. He gives you the power. Can he pass block? That's not his forte. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. If you go look at the grades or what have you about him pass blocking, or you can go look at what he did to Mike and everybody gets all in their bag about that. But I'm not about to sit here and be like no on a specific running back because he's not an extra tackle. I'm sorry, y'all. That's not what I'm signing this running back to do. That's something that we need to, if we got to coach you up to do, we'll coach you up to do. He got the body to deal with it. This isn't a little guy. But I think Leonard Fournette checks all the boxes of the missing aspect of the running game that you lose with an Ezekiel Elliott. In fact, you actually gained something, and that's the pass catching part. So you can say, well, Sky, we lose blocking. Well, I'll give you pass catching. Won't we lose power? Nope. Leonard Fournette gives you power. Tony Pollard, Leonard Fournette, Malik Davis, and get me a run. I don't give a damn where you draft it back. You can draft it back wherever. I think that works. I've said it last year. I'm over the workhorse back. I don't need any of my backs, including Tony Pollard, to be a 20 carry a game guy. The only time I need him to be a 20 plus touch carry whatever game guy is in the high profile or swing games and playoffs. I don't need 17 game season. I don't need my backs to take this pounding. People, well, I don't think Tony Pollard can carry the load. I don't think Ezekiel Elliott can carry the load. This isn't 2016. These are 17 game seasons. I need at least three running backs to be able to tote the rock during the season. I need 4 running backs on my roster because if one goes down, I need one to come up and help tote the rock when one goes down. Leonard Fournette doesn't got a lot of bodies. He's played in 14, 16, and 16 games over the last 3 seasons. Doesn't got a lot of wear and tear. He can pass catch, and he's a power back. Checkmate. Now, you can hate me. You can hate it, but it makes sense. Oh, it makes sense. I want to hear from Coach Marv. What's good, Coach Marv?
Hey, Sky, what's going on?
What's up,
I don't agree with the Leonard Fournette thing, but I'll let you go with that.
No. This is I want people to tell me. Like, I knew y'all were going to hate this, so I want to know why not, and see if I can use my term. Is that fair though? Why not?
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of trail on the tire because every week if he's going to play the list.
No, he plays. Leonard Fournette has played in 14, 16, and 16 games over the last 3 seasons.
Right. And
I'm sorry, 13, 14, 16 games. So actually, he's playing more games as the years go on.
Right. And last year, and yes, when we talk about targets for him to catch the ball, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you gotta target your guys. If you look at his stats, you would think he's better catcher than Tony Pollard.
Well, that's why I said don't look at the stats. If you were listening, I said don't look at the stats. Go watch him.
Yeah,
and when you watch him in the passing department, he's comfortable in the pass game department. He has some fluidity in his hips in the pass game department, and he's a real legitimate option there. Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't, I think this offense with this year, we'll target our running backs more than 70 times in the whole year.
I do too.
To combine. That's crazy. But we're talking about making this team better. And yes, we do need to pick up. We definitely need to get a veteran free agent running back. And I like 2 of the names. I've been pushing. Well ago, I've been pushing Damian Harris because I knew the Zeke thing may come. I like Damian Harris. He knows how to be in a rotational system, so he's good with that. That's what he did in New England, and he could block. He's explosive. He's a complete type back, and he can run outside the inside. He had some injury problems last year with my hamstring that was bad, but if you look at the previous years, he's inside the. He's going to get you those tough yards. He gets you a lot of touchdowns inside the red zone, as Foreman might be a pick here. I think they might lean to Foreman, and this is the reason why, because he's a Texas guy, and you know how the Cowboys love getting hometown guys that's from Texas or have that relation to Texas. So they may bring him in because they're going to get him for cheap, and they love promoting that Texas type thing. So that's where Foreman comes in at. So I like those 2 guys because I think we can get them in very cheap. But I do think we need somebody in there so we can make Tony Pollard a weapon. And not
Damian Harris market value, surprisingly, is at $7 million. And Spotrac has been kind of on the money here lately. So
greatly, but he's not going to get $7 million if everybody else been getting all this. So now he's not been past first. So you know he's gonna be down.
I mean, even if
much
he's
lower than that.
Even if he's like $5 million, I feel like I don't know if the Cowboys would do that. My only thing about, and this was the drawback from a Damian Harris and Foreman, in which I actually like those guys as runners. Again, you said it. You said it straight out of your mouth. They're gonna throw the ball to their running backs a lot this year. And when you go look at them as pass catchers, that ain't their game. You know, hasn't historically been their game, and I don't think they're a better option there than Leonard. So you know, if you're okay with saying, hey, look, we want a one-dimensional guy, we may tip our hat, that's fine. If you just want the guy, hey, we're going to give him 7 carries, 8 carries just to be our power guy, Damian Harris and Dante Foreman is your guy, right? Because you're still going to give some carries to Malik, and you're still obviously going to give majority of those carries to Tony Pollard. So I'm fine with that if you're not trying to disguise anything, because you're not doing it with Damian Harris and Dante Foreman. You're running the ball 9 times out of 10, or they're going to stay in for pass blocking options.
Right, and it's basically where McCarthy and when we talk about running backs,
yeah,
it's basically what you feel your offense, what's really important to your offense. If your offense is if the running game is a change of speed, just to show you type of a run game, yes, we can go in the draft and get those guys, and we can and get, and really don't have to have any running game. We can get some running backs, but we don't have to have any running backs that's prominent if that's how your offense is built. So
if you look around the league,
and that's how you have to do it.
Most offenses, if you look around the league, most offenses don't have just one guy anymore. And the teams that did, they're kind of getting rid of them. Dalvin Cook is on the trade block. King Henry's on the trade block. Zeke is cut. So you got to either A, be a dual threat guy, or B, be a part of a committee.
Right. So you got and you got to be, and you got to have that guy that goes. But I wanted to say this. You brought up something early in your commentary. If we're trying to get better, I understand what we're talking about. We're trying to get better in the running game or with Ezekiel Elliott. But I think it's a travesty if we're trying to get better that we bring back a guy that does have no market value, and he show you he has no market value. And the NFL sees exactly what I've been seeing all year long and clambering the table at.
Who's
that's
that?
LVE. And that's LVE.
Oh, you mean run defense?
Right. That's LVE with the. You see, I've been saying all along, we could talk about, and I think you mentioned one time, how we low valued our expectations of linebacker because a guy he played better the last 5 games. Because we look at it and say, if he plays a little bit better, we like, okay, he playing better. But if we really look at it, what could this defense be if we had a guy like Bobby Wagner? We would probably be saying, I guarantee we'll be saying, we'll be saying, man, our defensive line ain't as bad as we think it is.
Maybe.
We think it's bad because.
Well, no. I don't think it's bad. I've never said that, but I think we do need to get better on the interior. I mean, that's clear as day. I'm not saying they're bad players, but we don't got enough dudes up front. And you get more dudes up front, that's going to help a guy like an LVE. And then if you get a superhero dude like Wagner, that's just going to make him even better.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just think I think that the league has showed us in 2 years when you went over that contract. That really shows you that the league itself, Cologne's, the guys that you put on your list, would have made this defense a much better defense for just a tad bit more money.
That's
all.
I think this is funny because I'm gonna make a weird analogy here. You know how I make fun of how Kellen Moore can't win the room? Like, the reason why he's not a head coach yet is because I don't think he can win the room. He can't win over a general manager or an owner. I think LVE has won over Dan Quinn. He won the room. Like, Dan loves this dude. And I just think he's like, F it. This is my guy. We're going to keep bringing him back until the wheels fall off. I think he just won over Dan Quinn, man.
Yeah, and the landing plane, when we were talking about the wide receivers, D-Hop will be my first choice.
100.
I think he's You know, he's that type of guy. Odell Beckham, yes, I'm very leery of I was leery when we were talking about picking him up, and everybody was so enamored about picking him up last year before, you know, they found out he wasn't going to work out. I said that same thing last year, that I can't trust his injury history. But I really think it's going to come down to either him or come down to D-Hop if they really want to do that trade, because I think they're trying to weigh Arizona out, because Arizona's going to release him, because he's not going to play in Arizona this year. So either they're going to trade him or they're going to let him go. That's just point blank. I don't think they can bring him back after this, and I don't think he wants to play there. But D-Hop is my choice. But Brandon Cooks is still on the horizon with them, because I think they can fit that $16 million. They just that 1 year left on his contract with that $16 million, and they will sign a guy for a little longer, because even though they restructured Michael Gallup's contract, they still got an out next year. So I think whoever they bring in here, if he does exceptionally well, Michael Gallup will be gone next year, and they'll either draft somebody in the draft.
I thought I heard they
can get over to the speed. What you say?
So I thought I had heard Michael Gallup would this restructure actually would keep him here in 2024. But I'm actually going to look at these numbers to see.
Yeah, 'cause I think all his money. So when you pushed him, when you got that $7 million, that might have made it a little. I think he had $3 million. If they would have kept his contract, like, well, it'd been like a 3 minute dead hit for 24. But since they pushed that $7 million back, now it may be a $10 million dead hit. But that's still not a big dead hit to get out of that.
Yeah, it's 13.
Yeah, so that's not real hard to get out of that. It's not like a massive get out, but they got an out to get out of his contract. If they sign a guy and they feel this guy's going to be their number 2 receiver going forward, they may say, okay, we'll sign a bigger, longer deal, and because we know we can get out of that, and we hope we can develop a third wide receiver with Tolbert or somebody that we got in the draft to be that third wide receiver going forward in 24.
Big year for Michael Gallup. Appreciate the call, Coach.
Yep. Yeah. All right, brother.
Let's keep it trucking. We got a lot of people on the horn, including Landlord from Alabama. What up?
What's happening with the guy?
What up, man?
You hear me loud and clear, or I need to?
I can hear you. I can hear background, but I got you.
Okay. I was just tripping off of what you said about our boy playoff Lenny, man. Hey, who gonna bail Micah out, guy? Who gonna bail Micah out?
Oh,
that's what I want to know.
Look, talk about competition at practice. Ooh.
Man, they'll be doing full-fledged hitting out there. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got time for this guy.
Hey,
we trying to keep our young GOAT, man. We gotta keep him out of prison. That's the number one goal, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Hey, man, it sucks about Zeke, man. But this the nature of the business, man. I ain't gonna lie, like, I was fine before I started looking at pictures and everybody remembering them and stuff. You know,
like he passed away. I mean, the dude's still breathing.
Yeah, it kind of got to me semi. I was like, yeah, but it's the business, man. It's the nature of the business, man. And then, like I say, man, you got to do what's best for the team, and hopefully we can get better. You know what I'm saying? Because it is a possibility that we can get worse too. But I think we can actually get better if we do the right thing.
Same. I feel like they drop the ball if they get worse. Because I don't think this is hard to running back position is not hard to get productivity out of. The Panthers traded Christian McCaffrey, and their run game actually got better. And Christian McCaffrey is way better than this current version of Ezekiel Elliott. So.
Yeah, you're right. I just say, like, because you know it is semi-risky. Cause you banking on Tony being back to his 100% self after a while, and then if not, you know, you're gonna lean a little more on Malik. I like Malik though, but you're gonna lean a little more on Malik. That's an unknown, and then you know the mystery third person who you try to bring in Hill. That's an unknown. So it is a small element of risk, but I think we can get better though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that position, I'm not afraid of unknown because I think that position is more known than unknown. Now I'm sounding like Law Nation, but
no, like Law.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I feel like what you see is what you get with a running back. Now how that translates to your scheme with your run blocking, that's a different story. That's really what the unknown is. Like what is your scheme? What is your run blocking? But the actual talent, the traits, whatever that back brings, it's there on film. It's just a matter of being able to translate it with that specific team.
Yeah. I knew they weren't realistically gonna be able to keep him, man. It's just that's just terrible team building if you pay that much to a running back position. Like I said, no one is doing that. No one. Nobody. And we just seen the champs do it with a rookie. So, like, I know it's a little unknown, but it's so many backs in this draft, man. It's so many backs that could come and fill in this void, you know what I'm saying? And the type of back that we looking for, you probably can get him in the fifth. You know what I'm saying? It's so many electric backs out here that we already got our electric back. But I kind of want to tell him some of the people's mindset, man. It seems like most Cowboy fans feel like Tony Pollard is a half a running back. Do y'all feel like that?
What do you mean by half a running back?
Basically, it's like we must get somebody else, and because he cannot carry the load at all, like it's not even an option.
I think it'd be irresponsible to not, have a partner or two with him. Kind of explained it earlier. A 17-game season. I don't think you want to have a running back carry the load. If it was 2003, 2010, maybe 1990 something, that workhorse running back makes more sense. In 2023, I don't think it makes any sense, man. At a position that deals with a bunch of hits, that deals with a bunch of wear and tear, I feel like you need more running backs. You need a tandem or a committee approach. And honestly, if you go back and look at, history since the 2000s, there's been a handful of teams that have won the Super Bowl with, multiple, or got to the Super Bowl with multiple backs performing and not just, one guy. So, I mean, I don't think I would rely on Tony Pollard.
I'm not just saying let it be the Tony show, but I'm just saying I think I value what he brings to the table probably a little more than other people. Because I think
that's a different conversation, though, right? Isn't that two different conversations? Like, you can value what Tony Pollard brings to the table and say, I don't want to make him the workhorse back. This is what I said earlier. Let me know if this makes sense. The time to give TP the 20-plus touches are in swing games in the playoffs. That makes sense?
Fact.
Like when it's time to lean on your dudes, you lean on your dudes. Throughout the season where you gotta monitor, like I gotta monitor, what guys are getting. IT people gonna give you 17 a day. Malik Davis, you're gonna get, your 10, or your 12, or whatever, your 10, whatever. And then whoever they draft or whoever they sign, whatever, you're gonna get your little 7, 8. You make sure you continue to utilize all these guys to keep them, healthy, number one, or fresh, number two. So when it's time to lean on those dudes, they're not worn down.
And I think that's what you get from a veteran OC. He knows when it's time to call his guy's number.
Fair.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think Mike knows that, and I keep going back to this because it got me excited now that I know that Mike is going to be calling the plays. You remember they had an interview early in the year, and they was like, Mike was like, I had a play sheet for my guys.
Yeah.
He had a whole play sheet for his star guys. So, man, just imagine if we doing stuff like that in these important games where you depending upon CeeDee Lamb instead of Noah Brown and these other role players, man, when you actually utilizing your guys. And then if CeeDee eating like he was in the game, keep going to that well. If Tony start eating, because I ain't going to lie, I feel like Tony started heating up at the end of that game. Like, right before he got hurt, bro, it felt like Tony was going to start breaking open.
Yeah.
No lie.
Yeah, I mean, look, you give Tony Pollard, 12, 15 touches, he going to make something shake. That's just how I feel. He going to make something shake.
Yeah.
What Denzel Washington say? I'm leaving here with something. I'm from around the way.
That was funny tweet you put up. I'm leaving here with something.
TP from Memphis, he leaving here with something. You know what I mean?
I ain't on everybody. I just feel like that was a big time upgrade with us just moving on from Kellen. I know Kellen did some successful things. He had actually a decent run with us. But when it comes to the big time moments and the big time games, man, you would trust somebody with experience.
Yeah.
I use one of them words like, would you get a student doctor, or would you want a doctor that's been doing it for 30 years? Because the surgery is a critical situation. You want somebody who know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the analogy I use. It's like, I don't want a guy coming straight out of school operating on me. And that's the analogy I use to this offense. Like, in those critical situations, when the rubber meet the road, I want somebody who got a bag of experience that he can refer to. And we haven't had that for a minute, man. And I feel like it's almost a given that we going to be back in those situations. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the defense we just assembled. And I think we just one piece away. But if we can get a couple of more pieces on this offense, man, some O-line help and a receiver, hey, I'm telling you, the way the NFC looking, bro, it really could be one of them years. Like, I ain't going to get to saying the SB word, but it really could be, bro.
Yeah, it
really could be.
That's why I think they should go for it, man. And going for it for Dallas. And I'll say this again on this show because I said it on Vacha's show. I haven't said it on my show. All in for Dallas is not all in for the rest of the league because Dallas can draft well. They know how to do that. But all in for the rest of the league is probably spending $200 million in free agency. All in for the Cowboys is probably making one or two tier 1, tier 2 type of moves. So it don't take much for Cowboys to go all in.
And like you said, and Brian Brody said the same thing, man. This is a 12-5 team. It don't take as much for us. We don't have to start at a blank canvas. We could just finish off with the details. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to throw everything away, throw the baby out with the bathwater, as they say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I appreciate you, though, Scott, man. You know I had to tap in with you.
Yes, sir. Make sure y'all tune into the Trap House later with Land Low from Alabama. Appreciate you, dog.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man.
That interview he's talking about, I want to say it's the same interview where he put his hand around Kellen Moore's neck and was talking about the option routes and we got to be smarter. We're going to come up with a better play sheet. He definitely came out and said, oh, man, if it was me, which was crazy as hell to say, if it was me, you know, I'd have a play sheet for Tony Pollard. I'd have a play sheet for Ezekiel Elliott, yada, yada, yada. He was telling us, man, at the beginning of the year, he was telling us everything we needed to hear about who was really running this offense, man. But I think McCarthy was like, all right, look, this is enough, fam. Enough is enough, and it's time for a change. At the very least, Kellen, I need you to hit this number. I ain't telling you what type of plays to run. I ain't telling you can't do your razzle dazzle. Actually, I am. Stop with that shit because they stopped doing it. But you got to hit this number. Okay? And he did. You know, Kellen Moore came straight up. Yeah, man, we 30, we got to run 30 times. And you know, I want to throw the ball all game and blah, 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 blah. Now Mike can do this. We 100% are not going to be able to get to everybody, but we're going to try to get to a few more here. 267, what it do?
Yo, what's going on, Sky?
What up, Chris?
Yo, I got to say it one time. What's happening, Sky?
Landlord voice?
Yeah.
What's up?
Yo, man, that Stephon Gilmore trade was fantastic.
Yeah.
And the main reason why I love that trade is because you got a cornerback number 2 who can be a cornerback number 1 if, let's just say, Diggs misses time. Because if Diggs missed any time for the Cowboys last year,
that's
he would
fair.
have been screwed.
Oh, my goodness. You know, it was kind of similar to wide receiver. We kept saying, oh, my God, if CeeDee Lamb goes down, we are done. But we weren't even talking about Diggs. We was just like, Diggs will be there. But if Diggs went down, it would have got scary. Yeah.
And you want to know what now? Like, all right, if something like that happens, knock on wood that it doesn't. But now, all right, cool. Deron Bland, go play on the outside. Jay Luke, come play slot, and we have a perfectly fine. We probably have cornerbacks that are better than 75% of the league at that point, even still.
Oh, man, this cornerback room's top 5. I mean, I don't know the rest. So I'm gonna be generous here. I think this is a top 5 cornerback room, top 3 defensive back room.
And think about this, right? I think if they get a D-Hop preferably or an OBJ, and you add a Bobby Wagner and a Jonathan Hankins, with the coaches we have, how many teams in the league have 2 play callers who have won a Super Bowl, whether as a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, or just a regular head coach? Like, this is an experienced coaching staff that we have here, especially if you can add veteran guys to an already talented team. I mean, one thing I got to say, thank God San Fran whiffed on Trey Lance, because them not having 3 first-round draft picks, I don't even want to know what type of roster they would have been able to build with those things.
Kyle Shanahan need to stop playing, man, and get himself a quarterback. He think he can just do whatever. But we'll see what he does with Sam Darnold. Appreciate you, Chris.
All right, my guy.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Let's get, I believe, this Mel.
King Star, what up, bro?
What up, man? I finally can get a chance to put your name down in this goddamn caller thing. What up, Mel?
Hey, man. So looking at how the running back market has shapen out, man.
Yeah.
I think you definitely want to try to get Tony back to the table, because you want to get, if it was, obviously it's not me, but if it's me, I want to try to not be paying you $10 million, because now I'm looking like, man, I could have had Jamal Williams and somebody else and been paying a total of $10 million.
That's why I was asking, did they fumble that? Because do you say now, okay, we can use the $10 million to get X, Y, and Z, as opposed to paying you $10 million by yourself? And now you said go back to the table. So are you saying rescind the franchise tag?
If I can.
I mean, you absolutely can.
Can you remove the franchise tag?
You can. Here's the problem. If you remove the franchise tag, now you're down to just what's left in free agency to fill the running back room and the draft. Some people say, I don't care. I'll draft 2 rookies, and that's fair. Just draft 2 rookies and have a cheap running back room and prosper if you can, right? So you can rescind it, and he ain't coming back. I feel like if you rescind the tag, that's a wrap. So there's no going back. If you want to try to extend him, that's what you got to do. You got to try to extend him in between now and July 15th or whatever it is, when the franchise tag becomes permanent.
Man, that's tough, because I'm just looking at the way the market shaped out, and I'm like, dang, Jamal Williams at $4 million a year, like that's a pretty good deal for that caliber of back, man.
Yeah. If let's just play a game,
what
right?
What was Miles Sanders per?
Miles Sanders got 6.2 per. He got 4 for 25.
I mean, and we paying a guy 10, like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We can
I
play the game.
Jamal Williams and Miles Sanders for 10.
No, I wouldn't have did that. No chance in hell I would have gave. That's 7 years, $37 million on those 2 dudes. No. But let me just play.
Not all of it's guaranteed.
No, but that's doing too much. Let me just play the game with you real quick though. So let's rescind Tony Pollard, or not rescind it. Let's pretend we didn't tag Tony Pollard. You could have signed. We're all in agreement here. Jamal Williams would have been a fantastic signing. $4 million per year. Probably get out of it after a year or 2, right?
I'm in.
So you get Jamal Williams, and then you probably want to match him with somebody that has a little bit of a different wiggle. Boston Scott re-signed with the Eagles for 1 year, $2 million. So you could potentially have run with the Jamal Williams, Boston Scott, Malik Davis type of backfield, and Jamal and Boston Scott would have just cost you $6 million this year. Draft a running back, and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Would that have been
I would not
upsetting
have been upset.
Cowboys Nation? Right. Would you have been upset if they let both Zeke and TP walk and brought back a Jamal Williams and Boston Scott?
No, I'm not mad at that, man. I'm keeping it 100. And I love TP. I love TP, dog. But I would not have been. I would have been mad. A lot of Zeke fans are upset. I would have been mad emotionally that TP wasn't here. But if you would have told me that was what I replaced it with, I would have been, okay, it's not,
I wonder.
They're not TT, but
no, they're not.
But
TT.
I'm okay.
I wonder if the injury is something that really has a lot of us kind of like, oh, I don't know, man. That injury kind of scared me a little bit. Is the injury scary?
Nah,
because if we're just talking about one season, that $10 million with a healthy Tony Pollard, I can't be upset with that. Especially,
I think he'll be ready by training camp, though.
Oh yeah, he's going to be. I mean, the injury wasn't a catastrophic one. It's not an ACL.
I'm not.
Yeah. But
the injury plays no part to me.
Right.
I'm not worried at all about the injury.
So here's the thing, Mel. The money that they're paying them isn't holding them up from paying anybody else. That's why I'm kind of like not tripping, because it's not like we were missing out on a Bobby Wagner or missing out on making a trade. Like, they have the money to do whatever they want to do. It's just a matter of if they want to do it.
Yeah, I still think that now when you tagged him, you were kind of at that point negotiating against either old contracts or against yourself.
Yeah.
But now the market has been set. Like, we know what the market for the running back position is. So, okay, Tony, let's get back to the table. Okay, can we get something done at $7 million a year for 3 years at $7 million a year? With this amount guaranteed. I would just say, now that it's set, you try to get him back to the table and keep negotiating, rather than just going, okay, we're set on the tag and let's just let that be that. I know you don't like the idea of extending him, but I think if you can extend him at a better number, it may work well.
Yeah, I don't hate it as long as it looks like a 3-year deal. With early out type. I'm not trying to extend any running back 4 or 5 years. Like, that's there's just no need to do that, man. 3 years, work the funny money. Lower the cap hit, obviously, protect yourself. Man, get a quality deal done. But the days of Todd Gurley and Zeke type of deals, man. Look, come on, man. I'm not trying to do that now at that position.
And my last one, I know we got the callers. The Leonard Fournette one. I love the idea of Leonard. I don't love the actual facts about Leonard. And what I mean by that is, he's not really like a big-time workout guy. He comes into the off season. Usually he's out of shape. He's come in a couple times out of shape.
That's fair.
He's had a few, like, even when things weren't going well in Tampa, like, they had come to the point where they had kind of almost cut him at one point. Due to not that he was a locker room issue, but he was kind of maybe bitching and complaining about maybe what his role on the team was. That did get straightened out.
I don't know.
I
don't know that part. But if all that part is accurate, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. He spoke on it, and Bruce Arians has spoke on it. So those are just some of the things I don't like about the signing of Leonard, and I think it's kind of maybe also one of the reasons why he hasn't been maybe who he should be. I think he's like a high talent guy, but he's kind of been one of those guys that has depended on his talent and hasn't really messed it with the work. So I like the idea of how it sounds, but when I start to kind of drill down a little bit deeper,
not the baggage.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, man.
Fair. Lenny come with a little bit baggage, yeah.
Yes, I still love the idea of a vet though. I'm not with the let's just draft rookies and then we'll just go in it that way. I think our team still needs a veteran presence. Doesn't have to be a guy that's going to carry the load. Like even with to answer kind of landlord's question about, it's not that Tony cannot do whatever X, Y, Z. It's that you just don't want him to do that.
Right.
Like you don't want any running back carrying the ball or carrying the load for 17 games. Like, I do not want Tony really touching the ball 20 times a game for all 17 games.
No.
Like,
only in those swing games and in playoffs. Like that's really where it matters. Like, you don't want any running back in the league to get 20 carries a game, I think, anymore.
No, you do not want that. Like, I do, and I'm not even talking about, carries and catches. I don't want Tony having
touches. I don't
20,
mind.
20 touches.
I don't mind touches because when you catch the rock, yeah. If you now look 20 total every game is a lot of touches, but I don't mind if it say gets 13 carries and 7 receptions in like 12 games. I'm not gonna be mad at that because probably five of those 7 receptions, he's probably running out of bounds or something or getting, you know what I mean? Because a lot of those swing passes, you're already on a perimeter, you can get out, or hell, he might take one to the crib or whatever. You're not really dealing with the same physicality going up against a cornerback and a safety that you're doing with these 300 and something pound defensive linemen and linebackers.
Yeah. But you definitely want to be, and I wouldn't even call it running back by committee, but I would definitely say you want to have multiple guys that you feel confident with in the backfield, not just one guy. So no, the days of like I just want more and more fans to get out of their mind of, oh, we need a workhorse or we need a guy that can pass protect and he can run and he you don't need that.
That's
like
a done
this
deal.
This is not that. You don't need that.
This ain't that.
Anyway, Scott, man, blessings to you, brother. I'm going to tap back in with you as soon as possible. Great show again, man. Thanks for doing this.
Of course, man. Appreciate you, Mel. This running back market is very interesting, man. Very interesting. But I'm gonna stay 10 toes. I'm A-okay with Zeke with TP coming back here. And I'm pretty sure they're going to try to work something out, but I don't know if it'll get done. It all depends actually on Tony Pollard. If Tony Pollard is willing to take one of these, I think it might get done. But how do you start the conversation at $6 million when you tagged him at 10? That there becomes the issue. Same thing happened with a Dalton Schultz. When you tag Dalton Schultz at $10 million, the conversation starts at $10 million. Because you didn't let him go out there and test the market. I don't know if the Cowboys are trying to pay TP 10 plus per. Now, obviously, you could say, well, look, Scott, let's just go ahead, get it done, lower the cap hit the first 2 years and try to go for this thing. And we'll deal with the money later. Could be. But I wonder how many people out there would have went with some combination of these dudes on the screen and those that are still out there. You got the, like you said, Leonard, you got the Chase Edmonds, the Kareem Hunts, Mark Ingram, Dante Foreman. If you were looking for like pass catching guys, Giovanni Bernard and Jerick McKinnon, those are older dudes. Another older guy, Latavius Murray, Kenyon Drake, Damian Harris. I wonder how many people would have rathered a combination of those vets and then the draft as opposed to Tony Pollard in the draft. I wouldn't have preferred those combinations. The question I was posing during the call was, would you be upset if they ran with a certain combination as opposed to tagging Tony Pollard? I ain't gonna fake the funk. I don't give a dang about the money. As long as you if you got extra money to go get somebody else. And they got the money to do it, man. And they got the money to go get somebody. So I don't care that they paid him $10 million for this year. All right. Got about 2 more. We already in OT. Get 920 in here and one more. What's up, 920?
Skywalker.
I'm about to say going once. What's up?
How you doing? It's Carl from Wisconsin.
Carl? What's up, Carl? I gotta save your number.
Hey, man. Check this out. I just got a couple questions. That Fournette, I like that. I do. I like that as far as him coming out of the backfield. The only thing, and I heard that last caller, a couple callers before, with his, they should have a weight clause on him.
Yeah, look,
he comes in.
Yeah, that is fair, and that's something that I'm glad I talked to Mel, bringing that up, because I'm looking at the player on the field, but there is real stuff off field that you got to deal with, whether he's lazy, coming in overweight, and does he want to play, all that type of stuff. That's real. That's a real concern.
Dude,
there's no doubt about it.
He's not that bad. He's not bad at all. He had a down year last year.
Yeah.
And that was due because he did come overweight now. He did come in overweight, but as far as I like him, you know. But my last question, I have to say this: that running back, as far as in the draft, and I want this guy so bad. You know who I'm talking about. I think everybody want him bad.
Who?
Is it Elijah? The guy in the draft, the number 1 running back in the draft.
Oh, Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, that's who. Now let me say this, and I was just thinking all last night. What if Dallas did this, moved up to get him, moved up, and next year 2024, give him a first round.
Oh Lord, no.
It's not that serious, huh? It's not that serious.
Now, I always said I'll try to stay as level-headed as possible with what happens on draft day. But if the Dallas Cowboys move up in the draft and they give up their first-round pick in 2024, I might end the stream. Man. So that means I would not be happy with that, bro. I'll be pissed. Hey, what are you moving up?
I just thought of it. I just thought of it because I know they signed Pollard, and this guy would just be a man, would be a beast for the Cowboys.
Sure, I mean there's a lot of running backs in this draft though, bro. So I don't think there's a need to move. I don't even know if there's a player I'd move up in this draft, period, and give up my next year's first round pick for, unless you're trying to go get a quarterback and we just gonna start all the hell over. But nah, I'm good with that one, Carl. I'm good with that one, good brother. A lot of backs though. There's a lot of running backs.
Yeah, but overall though, the receiver, it doesn't matter if they. I'm not gonna be hurt if they don't get. I'm not gonna be hurt if they get Odell Beckham. I really want D-Hop.
I think all of us.
I do.
Yeah.
And I know what the Cowboys is doing. And they probably negotiating or whatever, but I think that Arizona gonna release him.
You coming in with the heat, dog. They gonna release. Okay.
I think they will.
Hey, I mean, clearly that's on the table, right? Like there's options. There's the releasing them and there's trading them or keeping them. So it's one of the 3 options. But boy, that'd be that'd be something, Carl.
And my last thing here.
Oh yeah, I thought that was your last one, Carl. Make it quick.
Okay, I think next year, I think that they're gonna. It depends on what they do this year, but I think they're gonna get rid of. They're gonna try to trade or get rid of. What's our receiver now?
Gallup.
Gallup. I think Gallup is going next year, dude.
Well,
yeah.
I think this is a big year. I think it's a big year for him, Carl.
Yeah. Well, anyway, man, love to hear from you, man. Keep up the good work, and we gonna holler once this everything free agent's over with.
Indeed, man. Appreciate you, man. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Take it easy, bud.
I don't know which one was a little bit more wilder. The Bijan or D-Hop? Probably the Bijan, though. D-Hop, though, I mean, Darius Slay, he got cut for about 10 minutes, so I guess it's possible. Maybe I do. I mean, I was going to do one more. Maybe I do 2 more right now. There's some numbers on here I am not familiar with. 702. So 702. Nope. Nope. Hey, you at work? Cause there's a lot of noise going on in that back.
What's up, big dog?
What's up?
Man, I just want to say, man, I listen to your show a lot, man.
Thank you.
But
we gotta be quick because of the noise in the background.
You know, I was thinking, what about that running back from Alabama? You know,
Gibbs?
bring him in. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Gibbs a lot.
he's a little thicker than Tony Pollard, but I think that'll be a good 1-2 punch because they kind of got the same, kind of physicality, play style a little bit, and I know you said y'all guys gonna talk about cornerbacks on Tuesday.
We might have to switch it now, but since they brought in Gilmore, but we'll see.
Yeah, so the battle that I want to see in all season, Deron Blank, that's like a needle in a haystack that we found,
Sure.
But him and Jordan Lewis, I think that'll be a good slot. That inside nickel battle that I think everybody be looking for. But I say if we talk running backs, I say, man, let's. I think Tony Pollard can be a good veteran leader. I think he probably learned a lot from Zeke.
100% he did.
And bring in that cat from Alabama and move forward with it.
All right. Appreciate the call, man. I'll talk about it.
Appreciate it, man. This D-Lay from Las Vegas.
D-Lay? All right. D-Lay from Las Vegas wants Gibbs. Look, I like Gibbs a lot. It would feel like it's a bit redundant. However, Tony Pollard's here for a year. If he's only here for a year, then it would make sense for Gibbs. But if you're talking about just looking at 2022, you don't really have that complementary piece. You kind of got two of the same dudes. Who's a guy that's going to kind of bounce off that? You can say, well, Malik Davis could be that guy. Maybe that would be the argument if you're in a Cowboys war room and Jerry is trying to say, oh, we got a Gibbs already. His name is Tony Pollard, right? Maybe somebody will argue, yeah, we got Malik. Malik can be that power guy or what have you. But that would be the argument that they would probably be tussling with, because I think they're the same type of player in regards to more of a, again, all backs should be complementary pieces, but more of the explosive, electric, catch out the backfield types as opposed to the ground and pound. So Gibbs in round 2, maybe Gibbs in round 1. How are we using them? Who are you complimenting them with? All those things come into factor. What are the contexts? All right, 469. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, good sir.
This is Bro out of Dallas.
What's good, bro?
Me, I'm a person. I go based on solutions.
Okay.
And DJ Chark in the free agency would be a great move. Forget trading for a wide receiver position when we can get someone out of free agency that's 6'3", runs a 4.3, has a big body, and has a nice catch radius. Making Jared Goff looking good over in Detroit. Second, if we want to do anything as far as running back is concerned, first you're going to have to take care of your offensive line. That's the reason Zeke wasn't able to get the yards that he really could have got. His first step is to the left, if anybody really watches. First step to the left. So if you have a weak left guard, then you're going to have problems. And his best year was with a strong left guard. I'm glad we got a corner that takes care of that situation. But if we get a wide receiver and a offensive lineman in free agency, maybe trade for another linebacker, I think we'll be okay. And then draft well. We'll be all right. I'm not worried about getting no running back in the first couple rounds. This is a running back heavy draft.
Sure. Yeah.
And I just want to.
Yeah, I ain't tripping about. I ain't tripping about running back in the first round either.
I've been rocking with you since 2016 with the fuzzy film. Just want to say you got the best lineup in the game.
Damn.
And much love to you out of the D, man. We need you.
Appreciate you, big dog.
All right.
Since 26, damn. Man, appreciate you, man. So you've been rocking since day one. Been rocking since day one, since I had the little weak camera thing going on. Yeah, we trying to improve. We trying to get to the studio. I want to touch on his DJ Chark. Now, the receiver market is starting to get a little. By the way, has he been signed or anything yet? Because, we are in the middle of free agency. I haven't seen anything drop just quite yet. I like just like how Mel said, I like the thought of Lenny. I like the thought of Shark, right? Like 6'4", run like a 4'3", athletic, all that good stuff. A little worried about availability. It's been a minute since DJ Shark been a guy you rely on. And then the market value. I think the market value for him was somewhere. Was it north of 10 million? I mean, I don't think that's going to happen, but I think his market value per Spotrac was north of $10 million. If I'm going to pay north of $10 million for DJ Shark, then yeah, I am going to go try to get D-Hop or sign an Odell. If I'm going to get a hurt guy anyway and pay him money, I'm going to go get the better hurt guy and pay him money. If DJ Shark is going to come in under all of that, B cap friendly or team friendly, whatever, risk friendly. Let me say that. Risk friendly. You protect yourself because we don't got to lean on and count on a DJ Shark. Fine. But if this is we're signing DJ Shark, he's going to be our guy. Michael Gallup, you better buckle up type of situation. I don't know if he's been a reliable type of dude. I don't know if he's been a reliable type of dude. Man, I can't get to all y'all, unfortunately, Cowboys Nation. And I knew today would be a day for conversation. How about we take this and we carry this over to tomorrow? All right? Or I'll be here for 4 hours. I'm already heading towards 2.5. Let me get to some of these super chats though before I leave. I do want to make sure I get that. I'll be forgetting. Y'all know how I am. So Miles Jack got cut. Miles Jack cut by the Steelers. And I appreciate y'all for conversating with me. Mind you, I'm all about having the conversation. I'm not about like this is what's going to work or anything like that. I just want to open the conversation, see if what makes sense, what doesn't make sense to y'all, and try to find those type of solutions. So I appreciate y'all having the conversations with me, even if they crazy ones. All right, what's today? Boom, here we go. Towboat dropped one earlier.
Super chat.
Appreciate you, Towboat. Everyone is on the Bijan train, but odds are he won't be there at 26. Tend to agree. What do you think about Rashawn Johnson? The other Texas running back can probably get him in the third, and he's a solid back. He's actually a guy, if I'm not mistaken, the Cowboys met with, and he's on that list of day 3 dudes I think you can get in the draft. Not opposed to majority of these day 3 dudes in the draft. Again, I'm not trying to disrespect the running back position. I just truly do believe young, fresh, hungry legs can come in here and make a difference. Be productive, pending said team or whatnot. I do think they can come in here and be productive.
Super chat.
Gavin C. Appreciate you. Drop 5 and said, Sky, what do you think we're going to do at kicker? Draft or free agency? Most games are won and lost by extra points on the field. Very underrated need for the Cowboys. Historically speaking, they'll sign one. They'll probably sign like 3, come in, try out, or compete against each other during camp. 2, I ain't gonna go to 3. Compete with each other. I think they'll sign somebody. I think they actually value their draft picks. I don't want to disrespect the kickers at real positions. I don't think they're going to take a draft. You can be like, well, Sky, look at all these Hall of Famers that got drafted or good kickers that got drafted. Fair enough. But I think they'll sign somebody.
Super chat.
Tiana Ellis dropped 5. Thank you. She says, point is, go all in now. F the damn second or third round pick. Bring D-Hop and his 2 good knees to Dallas with the restructure. Enough with ACL recovery projects. Man, look, I'm with you. I think we all in agreement here. I think D-Hop is the preferred guy. He's the better receiver in my opinion. He's the more reliable receiver in my opinion. He's clearly, he's hungry. He wants to win. I know we get kiki and he about the Cowboys and winning or whatnot, but it seems like some players want to come to Dallas. They're looking at the landscape and they feel like there's an opportunity here. The Cowboys are on the cusp, right? We're always on the cusp. They just need to get a dude or dudes. And you got dudes like a Wagner and dudes like a D-Hop that want to be here. Dallas just got to not be afraid to pull the damn trigger and go for the gusto. So I'm with you. CT Maddenhead.
Super chat.
Drop one and said, can we Oh, I thought you was trying to get me. Can we fill all of our holes this offseason? Sure. It ain't going to be with tier 1, tier 2 guys, and it doesn't need to be, but yeah, absolutely. Defensive tackle, for instance. You can get Ashawn Robinson and Jonathan Hankins for cheap. That's filling a hole right there. Could have got a Bobby Wagner out to fill your linebacker hole, but they brought back LVE, so technically that filled that one. Cornerback, boom, got it. Running back, go sign one of these dudes. It ain't got to be Lenny. I just wanted to see what y'all thought about Lenny. One of these running backs, and now you go into the draft. Sign Odell Beckham. Now you go into the draft, and you don't have many holes, if any.
Super chat.
All is well dropped to and said, let me find out Fournette pay. Fournette pay you to say this. I knew that. Why you think the title say? What I put in the title? One running back option you won't like. Maybe I should change that to one running back option you will hate. Try it, man. I sometimes I gotta throw some things, at the wall, see what sticks. I didn't think it was going to stick, but I had to get. This was on my mind when I was thinking about potentially replacing them, and I said, "Let me talk to y'all about it." I ain't afraid of it. Look. What my man Bernie Mac say?
I ain't scared of you, mother.
Come on, man. I ain't scared of y'all. We do this, okay? Dwayne Brown dropped one and final one.
Super chat.
And said Pollard is a whole running back burn. Watching him live in high school and college. I don't know what that one mean, bro, but Pollard is a dude. 100% he a dude. I appreciate. Thank you. I did try. You know what I'm saying? I tried to see if I can get y'all to come on over there. I probably talked myself out of it, my damn self. But I definitely talked myself into it. Man. Today was fun. I appreciate y'all rocking with me today. Let's continue this conversation tomorrow. Maybe there will be more news today. We'll see. Whatever news drops, I'll be on top of it, reporting, analyzing, giving my opinion, and listening to y'all's every morning. That's how we do. Later, I'll be on Vacha's show, Vach Lombardi Live, and Mo will be on, or as King Element, he appreciates it, Mauricio Rodriguez will be on A to Z Sports Prime Time. And check out the A to Z Sports Dallas website. We reconfigured the website. It looks much better. It flows much better. I think it's pretty dope. Matt's been dropping a ton of articles on there. Shane, Cole, Mo, everybody's just been killing it. Got to get this writer block segment going. Also, working out details, but we're going to have I got a dope segment that we're putting together, me and a prominent Cowboys. Is he journalist? I don't know what to call him, man. He's just a fantastic superstar in the industry. Let's just put it that way. That will be joining me hopefully every week. We got to work out some details, but I do want to tease that. I can't say too much, but I will tease that. And if everything works out, I's are dotted, T's are crossed, we'll have a weekly segment that I think you guys will absolutely enjoy. So that'll be the first step in trying to get some more contributors to make this show better. I sit down and I have a list of ideas and segments and all this thing that I'm trying to do to make this show better, make this show even more professional, but with a homey feel, right? When I don't mean like you my homie, but a home feel, a comfortable feel, but also we add some professionalism to it as well. So whatever we could do to make this thing different, make this thing great, I'm going to bust my ass to try to do. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully we'll have that locked in the next week or so. And continue to take this thing to the top. With that said, no. Not with that said. Look, we got we got to talk about Boston Scientific, boy. We got to make sure we pay the bills. With that said, if you are one of the 39 million men or more that suffer from ED, make sure y'all hit up Boston Scientific, who created edcure.org to help you find your best cure. To get started, go on over to edcure.org. You take that quiz, you learn the severity or risk of ED, and if you have a condition that puts you at risk, what do, y'all? They got content just for you. So visit edcure.org, get the facts, and find a urologist who can offer treatment when other options do not work. Again, that's edcure.org, brought to you by Boston Scientific. Pay them bills, dog. Pay them bills. Now, I'm just saying, if we get a breaking news, the Cowboys sign or trade for DeAndre Hopkins.
Jello Beats, holla at me.
I'm going crazy. We out. Love y'all. Peace.
Squad!